our guys are crazy.
They're the best damn potato ball team in the tri-state area.
I have a terrible joke on the subject, but they just started live streaming and I'm not doing it.
Okay, yeah.
Do it, do it. You have to.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Oh, live streaming. This is going to wreck our reputations right
The
here.
internet doesn't forget.
Yeah.
I hear they also
So
don't
in
forgive.
Boise, on New Year's Eve, they have a giant potato which slides down the pole.
Mm.
Wasn't there a no? It's the Corn Palace, isn't it? The Potato Palace. That's the Corners, isn't it? The Corn Palace.
Bill, we should open up a roadside stand in Idaho for selling potatoes.
Yeah, like they don't have enough of them.
Yeah, we could bring coals to Newcastle.
Can sell sour cream on the side.
And diamonds to Zimbabwe.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Ari. Say unmute and say hello.
Say hello.
Hello.
Hey, Ari said hello. Oh,
Hey, John, I want to ask you, is your flash fiction Zoom where people create at that time, or they've written it before and just come in?
Oh, me? No, they've written it before, and they just kind of come in. You know, basically what I do is I give people 15 minutes to read, but they can only read one piece, so that I can encourage longer form stuff. You know, because everybody's got a poetry reading that that they did before, so I try to do something different with it.
Uh-huh.
So if you want to come
This
read
year, Instant Noodles is reducing the maximum word count from flash fiction from 1,000 words to 500, and about
In what world is that fiction at that point? That's an intro.
it's still fiction.
It's a fictional intro.
words belonging to flash fiction and prose poetry.
I mean, I guess it's fiction in the sense that, baby shoes never worn is fiction.
You know, the shortest flash fiction is 6 words.
Yep. For sale.
And the key to being successful with that
Being
is having one verb in the present tense.
Hmm.
Probably the most the word count which has had the most contests is 100 words.
Do you know what the 6-word fiction was?
Yeah, baby shoes for sale, never worn. It's Hemingway, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
that's 6 words.
we're from the government. We're here to help.
that's a horror story.
Sometimes it's not, and sometimes it's Minneapolis.
Yeah.
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 My original idea was for sale, dead baby, but they didn't like it. They said, you need to add a little more. I need some padding. Okay, I'll mute myself.
No, that's okay.
No, we'll meet you.
No. He needs to be in the corner for a minute. He knows what he did.
Go to your room. Is that your time?
Listen, one of the things that I've learned from hosting an open mic is you gotta bully people just a little bit.
Oh.
What do you have to believe in, Anna?
You have to bully people just a little bit.
You have to bully. Oh, do you like doing that?
I mean, it's part of the job. I don't hate the job, so.
Oh, now we know why you started poetry readings. Okay.
Is your open mic called Anna in Charge?
It's not. No. Although, Robert, if you ever find yourself up in the Boston area, we are booking features for the 2026 season.
What day of the week and how frequently?
So it's second and fourth Mondays. There are a couple that are on holidays, so we have to deke to a Tuesday show or just not do it.
What time is it?
It's a real short show. It's only 1 hour. So doors open at 6:30, cameras on at 7, we close at 8. And then
Yep.
we're out of the building by 8:15. Like we gotta
Where are you in Boston?
we're in Malden, so just
Oh,
north of the
Malden.
city, end of the
Okay.
Orange Line, yeah. We had Michael Monroe come out of poetry retirement, and as soon as he was, on as a feature, somebody from Cantab reached out to him, and now he's like talking about doing a workshop, and he might actually end up helping us out a little bit with, booking some features and some other things. So he thought he was out.
I guess I'm about an hour and 40 minutes from you, or maybe not that much.
Okay, that's a hike. I wouldn't expect you to do it too often, but we're only second and fourth Monday, so it's not like I'm asking you to do a weekly show.
Yeah, right. Did you take over somebody who, or is this a new one? I thought there was a Malden reading that closed or something. Somebody at one point.
So Jeff Taylor was doing one a couple years back, more than a couple years back at this point. It was a while back. That one ended, and then me and him started this one in 2024. So we got through all of 2024, all of 2025, and it's now 2026. So we're starting our third year. Jeff passed away last March. If you didn't hear,
Yeah, I did. That's what happened. He actually had me as a feature, and then I didn't hear anything, and then I didn't hear anything, and then when I called, and then I looked up and saw that it was closed, or the place that they were doing the reading was suddenly stopped. And then all of a sudden I saw people posting, it's too bad, Jeff. It was like, oh, okay. No wonder he hasn't been contacting me back. This, unfortunately.
you probably have the email that we don't have access to. I would love to book you for a feature. Now that's my job instead of Jeff's. A bunch of people fell through the cracks that way. It was a huge problem because you don't think to prepare for that, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, he had contact. We talked a bunch. We had sort of talked about I saw some of his stuff. I was kind of interested to finally be in person and would see each other and see how we each worked. And then he's okay, I'll see you soon. I was like, okay. And then, a number of months. And then it was like, okay, well, are we on? What's going on? What's happening? I haven't heard from you.
125 was about you.
My email, I can put my email in there. Mine's at Paul at Human Error Publishing.
Sure.
Do you mind popping it in the chat?
I will.
I'll message you for the new
I'll
one.
put it in the chat.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I had Jeff scheduled to read up here in Manchester, and I think he died for like a week or 2 weeks before he was scheduled. And
So, John, you didn't find a medium to help you still do the open mic with him?
no, it was a double feature, so we kind of did it anyway. And I brought I downloaded a bunch of Jeff's poems, and a lot of us sat around and read some of Jeff's poems and kind of enjoyed it.
Cool.
All right. I'm going to send you an email with a couple of the dates that we've got open. The next one is March 9th. And then I think we're looking for that out. But
Yeah, I would probably shoot for a little later just because
Yeah,
of
no worries.
40, who knows in terms of weather and that. Good drive is,
yeah.
and Route 2 coming west sometimes is, might as well just put on your ice skates and go for it.
Yeah. I grew up out in Amherst, and we had to do that back and forth a fair bit. So it's
Well,
an adventure.
if I do one of my festivals again, I'll have to just email you back, and you have to bring out a crew from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You still doing the Turner's Falls thing, or?
I did that for 15 years, and then COVID, I was like up to 170 writers or so who were showing up for over 3 days. And so it was pretty amazing. But then COVID hit, and that took me out. And then, I was out down for a year, almost 2. And then when I tried to bring it back, I was like 33 people kind of signed. I was like, whoa, what happened, folks? And then it was tough to even do 2 days. And this past year, I ended up doing 1 day with a lot of people complaining, 2 days, I can't do 2 days. I was like, what, geez, what happened? And then it was kind of hilarious because I used to do, in the afternoon, a whole bunch of readings and sometimes 1 or 2 other venues, and then try to bring everybody together at night. And the show would start 7:38, and people were like 8 o'clock. I was like, I know everybody got used to putting their pajamas on because of COVID at 7, but I think it's drink coffee. I'm not sure what's going on here. Um, so I don't know. I'm kind of up in the air of trying to figure out what it is. I mean, before it seemed like people really wanted a community. And this last time, a bunch of people showed up to do that, for the afternoon, hang, read, go eat lunch together, come back, read, have dinner, and then have a show at night. And a lot of people came and just read in their half hour or their hour slot and took off. And then I was like, wow, what happened here? Nobody cares about hearing anybody else anymore, or people are feeling like they're the writers now because they have, a book or two out, so they don't need to listen to other people or something, I don't know. It was just, I can't. So I'm up in the air. You guys have any suggestions? I mean, there's a lot of Zoom readings. I'm just not sure until people showing up in person and
I have a suggestion, Paul.
drink more. Is that
You
what you're telling me?
accept that writers are now selfish and they only want to read and hear other people to hear their work, and they don't want to hear other people's work. And just accept that.
No,
No,
I'm
no,
not
no.
gonna. I'm not
You,
gonna.
you
No,
understand
Yes.
me, Robert.
no.
You understand me.
I moved a Tuesday night reading to a Sunday afternoon, and I increased maybe 10 or 15 people in my readings. And that group is really good. They really all show up. I use sand timers in terms of talking about bullying. So I use sand timers as everyone's kind of trained now. There's like a black sand and a white sand, 3 minutes and 5 minutes. Everybody gets 5 minutes. And when the sand's gone, you're gone. And what's nice about it is that the whole room kind of polices it. Because sometimes people, when you're the one running the show, they act like they're taking time from you, or they act like, yeah, come on, take me down. But when the whole room goes, your sand's gone, people usually, leave. I only had one time where some guy grabbed the sand timer and tried to throw it, and I had to turn off the mic and a whole bunch of stuff. And then finally, the whole audience stood up and just yelled at him. And I guess he was shocked. He didn't think people actually, and it was kind of, like, what are you doing? You're just taking time away from other people. You're not taking it from me. I don't care. It's like you read 3 more pages and someone else reads 3 more pages. That means 2 more people aren't going to read.
I've only ever intentionally gone over once, and I didn't respect the person who was running the mic, and I was the last one, so I wasn't taking away from anybody else's time.
Okay, sure. There's videos of it that show something different. Okay, this is different. There was
This one,
Now,
different
my
situation entirely.
solution to your problem, I have a solution to your problem, Paul, and that is indica. Get a lid of really good indica. Get them all stoned. They'll be there in couch lock. They will be unable to move.
Yeah, but then they won't be able to read their poetry. So I mean, what the hell? We're there to read the poetry. So you got to be conscious enough and not
Okay,
drool
well,
on yourself.
not that much.
Okay,
indica,
okay,
just-
okay. Hear me out. Hear me out. You read, but then you have to get high.
Okay, there we go.
So like, you're required to sit down and listen to everyone. The way that we handle is just like we have the feature super early. So like, if you want to read your thing, you have to listen to the feature.
Of course, you could just use pepper spray.
Would you like to hear an important fun fact about pepper spray?
Sure.
No. We're going
Okay.
to.
Okay, so if you are in a situation, which I know is very uncommon, but like if you were to get in a situation where you were to get pepper spray on your body somewhere, and while you're out in the world, wherever you are, it is that you got pepper spray on you, and you clean it up as best you can, then you go home, and then you're like, I'm gonna take a shower. You're gonna take a cold shower. And then when the little voice in your head says, okay, I think I've got enough of this off of my body and I'm freezing, I would like to take a warm shower now. And you want to, that's the devil talking.
Oh.
And we do not listen to him. Because if you heat up, it reactivates, and then all the steam in your shower is pepper spray flavor.
Woo!
Which is yeah.
That's a good tip. Next time I'm in Minnesota, I'm definitely not going to be taking hot showers.
Yeah, well, just keep your poems under 5 minutes. I think you'll be okay. It's,
Yeah, it's unpleasant. It's unpleasant. Don't do that thing. Maybe don't get pepper sprayed in general, but you know, you do what you got to do on that front. Anyway, hi Chad. We're gonna turn this into an informal Antifa training. I'm taking over.
I think this was actually a coy. We're supposed to be talking about Bitcoins and trading with each other.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, fuck crypto.
Has anybody written any AI poems?
I
Oh,
actually
yeah,
do
I
have
wrote a whole bunch of
one.
them.
I wrote a whole poetry book on AI. Like I used AI and then I edited it.
I put a piece in and I asked for editing, but I didn't have an ending. So I asked, can you give me a couple different endings? And it came back with like various genres of endings, lines, and I went through all those and I picked out pieces from a series of those of the different ones, even though they were supposed to be different things, and then rewrote a whole bunch of stuff. It gave me ideas that way, but I didn't use anything that it actually, I didn't copy the words out. It was just kind of interesting to get the thoughts about, oh, I hadn't thought about that, or it was whatever it was.
You know, I was wondering whether a reader, when they were buying a book, they could customize it. And so, for example, there would be a short survey at the beginning, and the reader would be asked, do you want the protagonist or main character to be a man or a woman? And what do you want to name them? And then there would be like one more question. At the end, do you want them to be alive or dead? And then and then the book would be customized, and the person could either read it online or it could be printed with what the reader wanted.
Or you could just read somebody else's thoughts and expand your horizons instead of just like chewing your own tail.
Have any of you used
It would be named Hyacinth Alarm Clock.
have any of you used the programs that actually can make your books into audiobooks by, they read? I just found one. It supposedly has 150 different voices. You submit in your work, and then within a number of minutes, it comes back with an MP3 file of your book as an audiobook written, and can then go through and go, okay, add more emotion to this line or something. But it basically sounds like, like really somebody really good in the studio, and probably better than I could do it, in terms of all the poems in one shot under 5 minutes, I'll tell you.
Could you
Only reading too
option to make
much.
the poems read by William Shatner?
That's right. You could have somebody famous. That's right.
Now on Amazon, they for selected books, convert them to audiobooks. But there's an online program called Natural Language, and there's a free version and a paid version. And you can put a block of text up, pick the voice that you want, and then have it read it, in that voice. And if you have the paid version, you can save the audio file. So in one of my features, I took an erotic poem and I read it like myself. Then one of the voices was a woman who spoke very quickly. And then I also put the poem in a natural language and had her read the erotic poem for humor. She was very fast.
Oh, good Lord. Okay, and we, we are going to the workshop. Is there anyone who would like to volunteer to be the first person, so I can feel like I have some semblance of control of this fucking
Richard
mad
has his
show?
hand up.
What's that?
Richard has his hand
Oh,
up.
Richard's raising his hand. I was looking for a virtual one. I wasn't even looking at his face. I've lost myself in the virtual world. Okay, Mr. Richard Spizak is our first participant. Fuck the Raminator 5000. He needs a rest for a week. And everyone should be able to share screen.
I'm going to bring you something a little different.
Cool.
I'm going to bring you some erotica, but it may be in a kind of different vein than you're accustomed to. So I'm sure you'll find this titillating. So here goes. It's called The Bee's Knees. Pretty as you please. Not 1, 2, or 3. You've 6 to admire. Yes, sirree. That's fire. Not just delicate and lovely and shiny, and then right there above them all that velvety stripy hiney. Made for scurrying from petal to petal, blessed by more curves than a comic book of heavy metal. Now, I'm not just talking about the bouncing bees behind, not any kind of average, let's not be savage, behind's a behind. But these cutesy bees' knees, if you please, it's positively anti-allergenic, if you know what I mean. Because driving all that shaking, guiding that heady dance is a beautiful mind that came from study and spirit, my friend, not by chance. The Bee's Knees. A little bestiality for your Wednesday evening.
Richard, do you have a poem do you want to share the poem with us? This is the workshop
Oh,
part.
sure. Well, that's the one I was offering, but I can put
Yeah,
it.
if you just want to share, if we could see it via the screen share,
Sure.
that's usually a big help.
Sure. Let me go grab a digital copy of that little bugger, and I will accommodate my good friends there in the Zoom verse. Okay. Oh, fiddle faddle. All right, this one. Okay, it's not there. Let me go to plan B. Okay, boom. And bees, search, bees knees. Here we go. Okay. And I'll paste this into the text of chat, and you can critique it to your heart's content. I had an interesting experience the other day. Somebody you probably all know. I'd written a poem about Miss Renee Good, and she accepted it for her magazine, but she called herself, well, I won't use her language. I'll just say a grammar enthusiast. But anyway, here we go. The Bee's Knees, pretty as you please. So feel free to wet your scalpels and et cetera, or feel free to lavish me with incredible praise. Either way you want to go.
We shall cover you with honey.
How appropriate.
16.
The sticky topic for sure.
Okay.
I'm judging you.
Please, go ahead. It is the common thing, right?
Are you bringing it up?
It's on the
It's in-
chat.
I
you
thought you were going to share it on
Okay,
the share.
I will do. I'll do that too. Sorry, I thought that the chat was the way to go. This way you could grab it, edit it, etc. But that's okay. That's okay. I will accommodate my dear friends. Boom, and we'll just paste it into a notepad. New window. And paste. Boom. Okay. And then I will share screen, share. Okay, here we go. Bee's knees.
Here we go.
Okay, Richard, I have a comment here.
Sure.
I think bee's knees is kind of overused, and I would prefer changing it to something else. So I pulled out my rhyming dictionary, and I'm looking for something that rhymes with knees. I've got antifreeze, disease, cheese, rabies. What else do we have here?
Scabies.
Please.
Babies, yeah, there you go. Maltese, I don't know. Pekingese here. Pyrenees, Portuguese, rabies, seas, sleaze, teas,
One for
unease,
bee sleaze.
and wheeze. Anyway, that's my comment.
Okay, thank you. It's not too common a phrase these days, but I take your criticism to heart.
I disagree. I think it's a perfect metaphor for
You're a
life
generous
in the
man,
modern
Bill.
world.
I also put in the chat a resource for rhyming. It's called Rhyme Zone.
Well, these all come from my head and my heart, so I try not to use the what I think of as synthetic. But you know, a resource is a resource. We use text, we use word processing. Just one more tool, I guess.
Some of us even use a thesaurus from time to time.
Look at that.
It's interesting. I was just trying to see how many times you actually said bee's knees, and I'm not sure that you actually say it that many times over that it sounds like it because of the rhymes.
Yeah, it's only there once.
But I also thought when you read it that I heard it many times.
Well, that was the sympathetic vibration.
Can you show the bottom of the poem?
Certainly, sir.
Thank you.
There we go.
I got a little confused about the term anti-allergic. It's sort of
Mhm.
like you're trying to say that you like these and that you're not allergic to that, or that you that you are amorous towards that thing. But
Well,
it comes off a little bit strange to me, as like the wording.
well, I can appreciate that, but I will tell you this. As a poet, I had my poetic license renewed recently, and I'm allowed to make up words. I'm allowed to conjugate things that just don't belong together. And
That's true. That's true.
in fact, one of the criticisms that was just recently offered me, besides the fact that I make up words and I use my own unique spelling sometimes, another friend said, you know, Richard, funny stuff just isn't respected. You know, you have to write morose, you have to write, you know, sad and tragic. I mean, that's a way to get famous. And I said, well, you know what? If my muse wanted me to go that way, that's the way I'd go. But I am a follower of that cute little inspiration, let's say.
So I have a comment.
Please.
I think a target reader for this poem is a child, because it has the rhyming reminds me of Dr. Seuss, but there's a few words in it which are, I think, too advanced or too naughty for a child, which I would remove. The first one is in the first stanza, the third line, admire. I would substitute a simpler word for a child. And in the second stanza, the third line, Heine, I would also get rid of that. And then in the sixth stanza, where you have anti-allergic, I would replace that with sneeze. And then it would be closer to ready for a child who's that read Dr. Seuss, which is typically 6 years old to 10.
Well, I can assure you of one thing. I won't be reading this to any elementary school kids. This is
I-
for the racy and subjective minds of people of your sort. And if that tells you how I feel about people of your sort, well, then you've got the idea.
I have the exact opposite opinion. Go dirtier. This is no, I'm serious. Like, oh, this is
Ace
no, it's
sleeves.
not.
It's right there.
Go harder.
Go harder.
That's also what I was gonna
Fully
say.
intentional there. Like, seriously though, like this is, it's. You could read this to a 13-year-old. Get a 21 plus.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate your thoughts. Again, I honestly, in my heart of hearts, feel that I don't have to justify any of this damn stuff. I write it because that's what the muse dictates to me. And I will admit I polish it a little, but I do it with one eye over at her cute little form and make sure that she's okay with where I go. So yeah, I hear you. I hear you. You know, I mean, certainly with bees, you could do a lot, but I thought that, you know, it was Heine, bee's knees, pretty as you please, and all that shaking. I thought I came close enough to being suggestive, but I didn't want anyone to really blush. You know what I mean? I tell you, I have written stuff that is a little more risque. In fact, I'd say it veers way over into X. I had a poetry group that I was writing with in Florida, and this one guy, every week he would read one poem about eating ice cream sundae off his girlfriend. Now, I don't know about the girls that you know, but I don't know any girl that wants ice cream eaten off her body, no matter how hot she is. But anyway, that's the women I know, you know. And
You've got to get some new women friends.
yeah, that's okay. I'm okay. But anyway, so I thought once I will write one extraordinarily erotic poem, and I called it "Dancing Round the Nipple Brown," and it is a charming piece with just the right degree of attentiveness, let's say. Anyone wanting a copy of that, let me know and I'll ship you one.
I think when you're doing something that's like kind of silly, but also playing with this, you kind of need to go heavy on the sexy to go with it. Like it's, you know.
Well, thanks, Anna. Chad, you had
But
a
you know,
comment.
do what you like.
I was raising my hand for the piece you offered to send.
Oh, okay, you got it. You got it.
But I would love to see you go dirtier. Come on, bees, go harder, go harder. Good Lord.
Richard,
Right.
think about X rating. or at least pump it up to R.
I was dallying around that the PG was close enough for me. Again, it was suiting the purpose for the mission, you know.
How about behind the bee's door?
Yeah, I mean the potential is there. I grant you that, but it just wasn't where I was headed.
Pure.
Okay, I will remove this from your site, and Chad, you'll get a copy of Dancing Round the Nipple Brown. My.
Lord. Okay.
It's a very sweet poem, if you know what I mean.
Chad, don't you want Richard to submit that to Oddball?
What was that? What was that? Mute button on? What was that? No. Anyway, let's see who wants to go. Let's see who wants to go next. Sorry, Robert.
John wants
Anyway.
to go. Let's make John.
I think John raised his hand first virtually.
Yes, I virtually raised my hand here. Hold on a
But
second.
you'll be next, Mr. Bill.
Okay, let me share the
Right.
screen. There you go. And this is called Ode to a Mangosteen. A mangosteen is a tropical fruit. You see a picture of it down there, so you know what it's talking about. Purple tennis ball wearing a green beret. Your heart an albino tangerine, fragrant as incense at Polin Monastery. I would trade the 6 devas offerings to the Tiantong Buddha on Lantau Island for a mangosteen and Swiss Army knife atop a plastic bag in a Hong Kong hotel.
Sounds like it came from one of your travel books.
Could have been, yeah.
Can you make the screen a little bigger so the wording could be seen bigger?
Let's see if I can do that. Hold on a second here. Let's see what I can do with this. Let's see if I can get that here. Let me
Yeah,
tell you
man.
what, let me stop sharing. I'll share it again. I'll make the screen a little bit
No, no,
bigger.
John, on the bottom right of your screen, there's a scale that goes,
Oh, there it
that's
is.
right
I
now
see
at
it.
100.
Here, I see it. There you go. How's that? There you go.
Great, thanks.
Didn't see that.
The text is coming right at us. Oh, okay. There we go. Anyway,
So I have a title suggestion. Death Row Last Meal Request.
This would be for the children in grade 6.
No, that's an adult title, John.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
we suddenly become children's entertainment. It's like when Sam Kinison used to say, "I'm family entertainment." Yeah, but oh my.
You know, the other thing I would try to do is, since you have a picture, is try to put it into a haiku where the last line reveals the name of the dish. You know, if you can't do it with 3 lines, go to a tankard 5 lines.
I like the sensory detail, fragrant as incense. Like I almost feel like I want to read like a little more of that. Like, what is the flavor of the mangosteen? Like the texture of its skin, maybe. Like maybe more little details like that. But I overall just really like it.
Yeah, that would be the same for my suggestion.
Yeah, this
Kind of
feels really polished already.
So
I
what
like
you're
the
saying is, go ahead.
sorry, I like the kind of response. So it's like, your heart is an albino tangerine. I would trade 6 Devis offerings. It's like a question and response. It's like the question is, what is your heart? It's an albino tangerine, and I would trade it for 6 Devis offerings. Um, it's like, what is your love? It's a heart of albino tangerine. I like, so it's a good kind of like back and forth question and answer. So that's like the first couplet, or the first, set of dialogue is like, what is your heart? It is an albino tangerine, and I would trade it, but I would trade it. And it's like, and that's kind of like the brutality of the second stanza of like the Swiss Army knife and the plastic bag and a mango, or the Hong Kong hotel. So I can see like, you don't you kind of go into that like brutality of the second stanza, but you don't, I feel like um it's not as brutal enough for me. It's like, because you're kind of like, you're kind of like hinting around that brutality of what you would trade for that person's love, or what their heart is, and the gentleness of the albino tangerine, but you're not quite, I feel like you're not quite getting there.
So I put in the chat the different tastes, on the tongue. Try to add more imagery of taste. It's sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and unami, which is savory. And get your tongue in there, John.
Oh, jeez.
Any more comments? If not, I will stop sharing.
I wonder if the Polin needs to be in there. For some reason, I don't know why the third line was bugging me because I do like the concept of that line. I think it's a strong ending already, but I almost wanted to just say your smell a monastery incense, which kind of becomes more evocative without having to limit it to that location.
I think it's nice having the specificity there because that's then echoed by the Hong Kong hotel. Because the Poland monastery, like you're clearly placing it, even if you don't really know anything about the geography of that area, like that is not,
Mhm.
a Franciscan like European monastery. And
True.
then Hong Kong brings this entirely other, and whether or not Hong Kong was chosen for this reason, Hong Kong is a place that is very westernized. And, having that be a place where this fruit is being dismembered, where your heart is being consumed on top of a plastic bag, I think that does work.
But is the heart really like the heart of the love, or is the heart an albino tangerine the heart of the mango, the heart of a mango?
Well, I
Is
can
that
kind
what
of,
he's
I
saying?
can kind of
That I wasn't sure.
see, look at the little picture down there. This is what it looks like.
That's what the mango looks like open.
A mangosteen, it's a different fruit.
Mangosteen. Sorry.
Yeah, no. But that's the part that you eat. So like the
Mm,
heart is an albino tangerine, that's the part that you're eating.
mm. Gotcha. Okay, my bad.
No more comments. I will stop sharing. Yeah, I struggled to put the taste in there, and I couldn't really think of a good way to do it. Uh, you know, so yeah, I'm sort of still struggling with that. Thanks anyway. Thanks all of you for your comments, and I will take them into account.
I've never even heard of a mangosteen, but it looks um
Best fruit in the world. I first had it in Hong Kong. Just those little markets. You can get them sometimes here in August or September. Like Melissa's Fruit has them, or you can sometimes order them from Miami Fruit. They're very expensive, but it is worth it because this is the tastiest fruit in the world. You must try it at least once.
Now, is that one of those fruits where the flavor people just describe as tropical and they can never give you any more detail because it just doesn't translate to words well?
Yeah. Well, did you ever have like cacao fruit?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
It tastes a lot like cacao fruit. If you know the chocolate comes in a big pod, and you open it up, and there's a fruit around the seeds, and you can actually eat the fruit, or sometimes they can actually dry the fruit and make a tea out of it. But if you just eat the cacao fruit, it tastes very much like the mangosteen. Call it Garcinia. It's the family, and there's a bunch of things like the cha, for example. There's a lemon mangosteen and all sorts of stuff like that. Anyway, please, if you get a chance to try them, please do. They're wonderful.
well, thank you, John. And I believe Bill said he wanted to go next. We said that
Sure,
before.
sure, sure. So, uh, what with Martin Luther King Day coming up, as many of you know, I am a bit of, I think I'm average person, but most people think I'm a radical, crazy person running around speaking truth to power and all that kind of stuff. And the one thing that I focused on so much from the times of Occupy Boston and all of that was homelessness. I have pushed so hard. Every legislator in Massachusetts knows who I am. They think I am obnoxious and just want me to go away. They've got it fixed. So if you think that everything's fine, then don't worry about me. But if you think that you would like to change the way that Massachusetts deals with homelessness, I would ask you simply to print this poster and send it to your legislator. Put it on a wall, stick it up on a bulletin board, let people think about it. Martin Luther King lived in Cambridge, and look at this. Cambridge, the richest city in the richest state in the richest country in the world. So I will put this into the chat, and I will try not to go lecturing anymore, but I really wanted to share that concern with you. As for a poem, there we go. So I am not as clean as Richard. I use lots of dirty language. This poem, of course, is entitled Shit. I'm deep in shit up to my knees, and when I shovel, I cough and wheeze. How much shit can these goats produce if you keep 'em in a tiny pen and never let 'em loose? 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, more. It's all just shit and blood and gore. Though they are gone, their shit remains. It smells like goat shit when it rains. But I have plans and I have muscles. I shall grow the sprouts of Brussels. So I will sweat and I will carry shit to my plants and I'll be merry. I'll eat this shit, all turned to greens, in salads, stir fries with roasted beans. So here's to the recycled goat shit dinner. If you eat goat shit, you're a winner. My friend, I have tons of goat. I have been just doing so much goat shit out here, and I have not been successful in raising any Brussels sprouts. The ground squirrels get them. But anyway, there is my humorous shit poem.
I love it, and I want to redline a whole bunch of things here. You've got a bunch of lines where no, and I'm you have so many lines that can be just a little bit tighter. Like if you keep them in a tiny pen, you can do kept in a tiny pen. Like a bunch of your lines can get super, super tight, and it's gonna be so good when you cut those little extra pieces. Like there's just a little bit of fat we can trim off of this thing, and I can see it, and it's like super nice and clean. It's all separated. Like this is gonna be an easy red line.
Okay.
Make it a little larger so we can see which maybe Anna wants to make a suggestion. The little magnifier on the right corner. Okay.
Yeah, like second stanza here, kept in a tiny pen, never let loose. Like you can just contract it down, you don't lose any meaning. It keeps the momentum going nice and quick. Like you don't necessarily need to take mine on there, but I just
Okay.
towards the end, the can you scroll down to the last? I love the sprouts of Brussels. That's perfect. Don't ever touch that. That's perfect forever.
Thank you. I'm very proud of that.
It's perfect. But like last stanza, here's two recycled. You don't need the you could even do like eating goat shit. So you crunch down that again just a little bit. Just like I said, it's just like little bits where you can pluck out a couple of syllables and it'll be super, super tight.
Okay.
I don't know if
Oh, you just muted. There you go. Unmute, Jan.
okay.
There you go.
I wanted to say first off, also while I'm thinking about the sprouts of Brussels, because my friend said when he was a little kid in school, the nun said, "What's the capital of Belgium?" And he said, "Brussels sprouts." But anyway, it's a shame. Brussels sprouts. So you never got to experience any sparking, like when you shoveled? Because one time I had horse manure and it was sparking, and I had a lot of tomatoes that year. You never had, you got no flame in there?
Flame?
Yeah, from, when manure is really aged, it'll spark.
No, I have
Oh, the
never seen
methane, the methane.
sparking.
No.
I like that idea though.
Yeah.
Sparking shit.
Okay.
So, Bill, I just have one. I just have one comment here. I love the poem, and you can probably guess what it is. Instead of "I'm in deep shit up to my knees," I'm in shit up to my knees. Deep shit is kind of overused, so just "I'm in shit up to my knees." It says the same thing, and you save a word.
Okay. Making notes.
You know, you could have a second version where, as opposed to using the word shit, you use the word manure, and you could then publish it into a magazine which would not publish a potty mouth word like shit, like the farmers like the Farmer's Almanac might publish it if it's about manure and fertilizer.
Thank you, Robert. I have taken that under advisement. Thank you so much. It was so much fun.
I didn't know this. I didn't know the Farmer's Almanac published poetry.
Great poem, Bill.
Who is interested in stepping forward? We've gone from erotica to shit humor. I dare say I dare say we were kind of in erotica with the Mangosteen poem, but
Only the
Mr.
oral
Richmond,
kind, Chad.
what was that, John?
Only of the oral kind, Chad.
Oh God. Okay, so let's have Mr. Richmond share his screen if he is so able to. He is able to. Yes.
Since, when you watch stuff, there's not too many optimisms, so I thought I wrote this. Optimistic. I was optimistic when I fought against the Vietnam War. I was optimistic when I fought against nuclear power. I was optimistic when Earth Day was created. I was optimistic when I fought for women's rights. I was optimistic when the Clean Water Act was passed. I was optimistic when our side won the election. I was optimistic when I won the court case, and I was optimistic after the operation. I was optimistic when they said they would give me another chance. I was optimistic when the engine started. I was optimistic when they said I was the next in line. I was optimistic when the sun came out, and I was optimistic when I could walk again. I was optimistic when my team scored, and I was optimistic when they said they had a cure. And I was optimistic when I got the job. And I was optimistic on that first kiss. Yeah, I was optimistic on that first kiss. In case you're wondering, I'm still optimistic.
Paul, I think this would benefit a lot from some imagery. So I was optimistic, then you say when. And every time you say when, I think if you put an image after it, I was optimistic when I fought against the Vietnam War. Give me some signs or give me some people sitting around the Pentagon. When Earth Day was created, just give me a flower, give me an endangered species that's come back. Women's rights, give me a woman who's walking into the boardroom or something like that. Every time you do it, because here I agree with you, but there are no images at all. It's just kind of telling, and I think it needs the imagery.
So actual images, not just words, the actual images.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I would suggest here, and it's not going to work on all the lines, and this is only if you want to pick the thing apart pretty significantly, but I'd be doing ing verbs. So instead of when I fought, fighting. And like some of these, obviously, like you'd have to rearrange it to get an ing verb there or to do a present active, but like there's a lot of passivity here, like it's passive voice, but also like the Clean Water Act was passed isn't something that you've got the same level of agency as you do when you're fighting against the Vietnam War. So that might also be something to take a look at. If you are going to keep some of those more passive ones, either like your part in a thing or how you experience that, like watching them announce, maybe, or potentially cutting some things out. But it feels very removed.
Okay, cool.
One thing I noticed is you're using the repetition kind of builds towards a crescendo, and the last line where you're like, yeah, I'm still optimistic, it's at decrescendo, but it doesn't, you didn't go anywhere at the end. Like you built towards this crescendo of like, I was optimistic, I was optimistic, I was optimistic, I was optimistic, and then it just kind of like fell flat at the end. Like you could feel it fall flat right at the end. Like you were building towards something, and you were like, it's like, did you lose hope, or did you gain hope, or did you like, it was like you were building towards like this hope, like I was hopeful, I was hopeful, I was hopeful, I was hopeful. Yeah, I'm still hopeful, I guess, but it's like did society fail you, or are you losing hope, or what there's like dangling questions at the end of like, well, why are you still optimistic now? Is it because like you're still waiting for something to happen, or are you losing hope, or like there's, so it kind of fell flat at the end, like you're waiting for something to happen, or are things still happening, or are you waiting, like there's a lot of like jumbled questions at the end of like, why are you still optimistic now?
Well, it's interesting you say that because in a way, I was actually trying to turn this in a way, in a different, almost what you said. All those things that I've listed at the time, it seemed like we, quote, you could say had won and they were taken away or they were lost.
So if
Oh.
you're saying you lost hope at the end, you need to kind of
No, I mean,
portray
I lost
this.
hope after each of those.
Oh,
Right.
so
What
I
Ari?
didn't get that. I didn't quite get that. That wasn't quite as a prevalent
Yeah, okay, that's
a
what I'm
message in the
checking out
poem.
because that's kind of what I mean. From what you just said, and you know, I basically, you know, it was a double bind. It was like on one level, I was optimistic in fighting it, but then what happened? After, you know, I thought we won that. Oh, I thought
Yeah,
I was
it's the
optimistic when
rollback. Yeah, exactly,
I
exactly.
mean, I
What
thought I was optimistic when the car started, but then you know, I got into an accident afterwards, or who knows what, you know.
what Ari was talking about is that this is a Lisp poem which needs to build towards the last line typically needs to be the strongest line, which is like punching the reader in the face. The other thing she's talking about is there being a turn at the end where there's some type of change, and there is no turn at the end. My comment is I would try to take the two lines, I was optimistic when and also try it as one line. It'll make the lines longer. And I would also try to reduce the repetition
I mean,
of
could you say that second part over again? What do you mean?
To take the two lines, for example, I was optimistic when Earth Day was created. I would put those two on one line. I would try that, and I would also try to have less repetition of the word optimistic by using synonyms, and also what John was suggesting, images of what would show that you were optimistic as opposed to saying it. I'm wondering whether the reader would get tired of hearing the repetition of the same word so much.
One thing you might want to consider is keeping the structure largely as is, and, you know, tightening what makes sense. But introducing a breakdown. So before your I'm still optimistic, if you could scroll down.
Yep.
On that first kiss. maybe repeat that optimistic on the first kiss and then do the but this happened, but this happened, but this happened, but
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
like be really like hit rock bottom at the end of that section. In case you're wondering, I'm still optimistic. So then your ending is like we've gone on this whole journey from like I'm optimistic. Oh, this thing went to shit. I'm still optimistic. So you got more of an arc.
Oh.
Yeah, Paul, I got that. There was a rollback. You could almost say I was optimistic before the rollback when they had a cure, or I was optimistic about the Civil Rights Act before the Supreme Court got their hands on it, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Or the other thing you could think of doing is you could talk about all the optimistic stuff, then you could list the rollbacks, and then you could come back to say, well, I'm still optimistic. And I remember all those protest signs. I can't believe I still have to protest this shit, right?
Right.
Oh. And
I
here
kind
I'm
of like the
looking at
idea
it,
of
I'm
like
reading
it
it
just
just
kind
the
of being
other
a
way.
constant dip. Kind of just. I'm sorry. Did I talk over somebody?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I kind of like it being like a constant dip, but like you were kind of like explaining one of the lines where you're like, yeah, I was optimistic when I started the engine, but then I hit a tree, or then you got into an accident. I kind of like the constant dipping that you're optimistic in the face of adversity, which is really tough to convey. And there are people like that who are optimistic no matter what. I have a coworker who back in 2016, when Trump won, she goes, "Oh, don't worry." She was from another country, and she goes, "Oh, don't worry, Chad. I've seen this kind of thing before. We'll go through it." I'm like, "Where are you from again?" She goes, "Turkey." I'm like, "Oh God," but it was kind of that kind of like weird guarded optimism, or just like the optimism of cycles.
Yeah.
That might be something to like even pursue, just to have like the constant like boo doo doo like the you can't see my finger, like constant like growth and shrink, just like maybe have them be one on top of each other. Because when you like had mentioned that car thing, that kind of that made me chuckle. I had to admit, I would love to see more of that.
Uh-huh. Cool.
So I saw it somewhat
Thanks a lot.
very differently in that respect. I mean, you were optimistic about all these wonderful things that happened and this incredible opportunity you had. They gave you a second chance. And the first kiss, it sounds like you should be ending the poem about all the wonderful things that you have. Here you are, you have succeeded. You are one of the richest, most privileged people in the world. And you should be just, yes, look at these good things we've done. The world is a better place for my having been there. So that's what I was expecting to see, and how blessed you are for having this opportunity. That's where I thought the poem was going, I guess.
I think also I was responding to how many people I've met who are not optimistic, and who are depressed about what's going on. And I somehow was trying to figure out how to convey all the struggles we've had in the past, and that we have won many of them, and yet at the same time you could lose your optimism when you think about, as the person said, the other poster they saw, are we still fighting the same thing that we've been fighting for 60 years or more longer, or hundreds of, whatever. So yeah, I was trying to figure out how to combine that, and it could be clearer in many ways that what you've suggested. So thanks.
Well, Jim, there. Good luck working on that. Got some fun comments on that. Who'd like to go next? Oh, Robert beat you. All right, let's okay, Mr. Fleming, I know you know how to share the screen, so you shall read the poem while I go turn up the thermostat.
Donate your body fluids now. Ozone hole number 23,989, 1,000 miles over Orange County, California, sucks cumulonimbus cloud drops. For 200 days, Los Angeles water slides are sand. San Diego slip and slides are fire. The governor proclaims, citizens of California, today, 12 noon, spill your tears, pee, blood, breast milk onto our land.
Did you know about the toilet to tap in San Diego, Robert? They had this thing where they were going to recycle the water, from the sewer water and kind of clean it up. They called it. People didn't like it, called it toilet to tap. Anyway, I like cumulonimbus cloud drops. I think the first line is just a little bit too long. You don't need California. You could get rid of Orange County is kind of enough.
I
The
like Orange
ozone
County
hole,
though, mixed with like Los Angeles and San Diego. Like the specificity of it's kind of good.
yeah. Well, I'm saying Orange County is good. I'm saying you don't need to specify that it's in California, right? Yeah, so somehow I get up. Maybe the number 27,989 maybe doesn't need to be there. You should cut it down a little bit.
Really liked your poem. I liked it a lot. I really liked the specificity, the very specific nature of your poem, like that it's 23,989, 1,000 miles up, and it's 200 days specifically. I like that. And then Tuesday at 12 noon specifically, you have to give your bodily fluids to the land, which is made of sand and fire. I love the specificity of it. It's very it feels very like it's very weird, but it's very good. I like it. I don't know why I like it, but I like it.
I like a lot of this. I feel like you need one or two more cities, somethings there. Like, I feel like the flow of it wants a little bit more. And it feels like the last stanza is missing one line too, and I have no idea what that line is. It feels like there's a little more to choose out of that. And the one practical suggestion I would make is spill your tears, bleed, blood, breast milk. For punctuation, consider doing that as slashes instead of dashes because the space between breast and milk makes that a little weird unless you're doing it on purpose, in which case ignore me.
And we can't help noticing the ozone layer is about 30 miles above California. The other 997 miles are a bit much, but I like it anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. The comment about the first line, I kind of agree also that it could be because you have all the other lines that are shorter. I don't know if that makes any difference in
I almost
terms
feel like the
of,
first line could be its own stanza. I
yeah.
agree.
Yeah, I thought of it 3 times. Yeah.
I mean, what I would really do is just say the ozone hole over Orange County sucks. Cumulonimbus cloud drops, and that's how I do it. It's worked to me.
So my question is, now this was written in 2022 when LA was having the fires. Now that they're no longer having them, is this poem still relevant or is it just dated?
Robert, I used to live in Southern California. They always have fires. It's still relevant.
Gonna say they had fires last year too.
Yeah, I mean, heck, you could even add something fantastical as you could even add like kind of like a fictional fantastical uh uh uh,
Godzilla.
chaotic event and cataclysmic event and to keep it more maybe slightly more timeless and outlandish, but I thought it was timely as is.
It's the only other thing I just thought of when I was looking at the last line, since you have it broken with the dashes, I guess another option would be to just list them, have them all by themselves, tear, peer, blood, breast, of whether or not that would highlight and would be clear in reading it or not. But there's also an effect that you're creating there by doing it the way you have it.
Okay, thank you. That's very helpful.
Thank you much. Who raised their hand after
It was
Robert?
Ari.
That was Ari. Yes, Ari, they're next. Go ahead. And welcome back, by the way.
Should probably unmute my audio if I'm going to do this.
Could you try to make it bigger?
Yeah, I can do that. Hang on a sec. Let me find it. I'm gonna make it bigger.
Sorry.
Is that better?
Much.
Okay. It's called Cold Day. Windy gusts flown over meandering, slumping body. My hair dances on breeze, and my feet tap to the rhythm of gravity's music. I wish I had worn a jacket, but it's too late for it. Spent itself all up in excess to something else much beyond the weight of my heart. He picked up and left, and I took his place. There's always another place in the line in the future. The ghost story of the man and his dog, now gone tapping out the steps to wherever they went next. Boats crossing each other like rivals. Not like there's no subtlety to the hatred to one another. I am heartbroken to know the internet isn't a large gathering of friends, but a collection of rubberneckers to the world's car crashes and lovers' heart disasters. I am cold. I wish I had worn a jacket. Fires keep me warm. Okay.
Yeah, I like this, Ari. Gee, the rhythm of gravity's music. The whole thing is really a delight. Except maybe for the first line. Meandering, slumping body. I think you should only use one of them, meandering or slumping. And then windy gusts. Well, gusts are windy. Windy is gusts. And I'm not really sure flown. What do you mean? Do they fly over meandering body, or why flown the past tense? It doesn't quite make sense to me. Anyway, other than that, I think this is really great. It's got a nice, I don't know, it's got a nice voice to it. A lot of really really sharp writing.
Harry, I'm not. It's interesting that you have it written this way, and yet how you read it, you would have had many more lines to me. You would have broken the lines up, like the sound, the how you were reading it. It's almost like windy gust flow, and or whatever it is. I'm not quite getting each one, but when you did it, I felt like they were breaks, and and you had it still as one whole line. And so it's almost like your natural rhythm of you reading that I would create another line, and it seemed like it would emphasize it more or wouldn't get lost in the long line because there's some really good stuff there. And you were doing it naturally in saying it. You had to take a breath or you did something to get the next phrase. And so that's where I would almost break the line. But, that's up to you in terms of, you had a reason for writing it this way.
I appreciate that. I'll make a note.
I really like the line, the ghost aura of the man and his dog, now gone, tapping out the steps to wherever they went next. That just is a very beautiful line to me. So, bravo.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that.
An additional bravo for me.
I would consider changing the title to Cyclone Day, and then to pump up the strength of the wind and how the voice's body is carried by the wind and gets out of control. My second question is, I would also try this as a poem with line breaks, and see how it works. If you stick with a prose poem, I would consider a haibun and add a haiku at the end.
I get what everyone's saying as far as wanting to create lines or be more specific, line breaks. But you should look at Nikki Giovanni's some work, "Those Who Ride the Night Winds," because she actually had prose poems like this, but her breaths were her breaths in the lines were divided with ellipses. Like I think double ellipses. I haven't cracked open the book for a while, but but there are and there are a couple of poets that are able to do that to try kind of mark where they want to pause. So that might be something to think about in response to all these
Or
things.
Allen Ginsberg too, he the long breath lines.
True, true.
So Ari, the purpose of a poem's title?
So the cold day comes from the fact that it's a cold day out, but also it comes from the atmosphere of people are colder and they are being cold towards each other. And so there's this relationship between being cold and the coldness between us. So cold day is relationships between each other as human beings, but also the relationship to ourselves and the environment.
Okay, so I'm a little bit more mercenary about a poem's title than you are. In my opinion, the purpose of a poem's title is to get you to turn to the poem when you're looking at the table of contents. Okay? So this is a great poem. It's wonderful. Cold Day doesn't stand out. If you're seeing that in a table of contents, are they going to really turn to it? Well, maybe, but it's not. It doesn't have the same snap as the rest of your poem. Make the title worthy of everything else that you wrote in your poem.
And
I
what
almost think. Oh, go ahead, Robert, please.
Yeah, Ari, what you just said about cold also relating to human relationships doesn't work with the end of the poem. A line that would is, "I wish I had a jacket, but I'm cold." Or you could say, "I have a jacket, but I'm cold." Then that would go back to the human relationships and also suggest that the voice is cold towards other people.
I see that. I'll make a note about that. The only justification I could use towards using it is that I was using car crashes and lovers' heart disasters with fires, and that was why my justification for it. But I see what you're saying, and I'll make a note of that.
I have two extremely minor ones and one that might be one. I do want to just say I like it with the long lines, and if you're tallying votes, put me on that side. Lovers heart disasters, I would consider moving the apostrophe to the end so it's plural lovers.
Oh, okay.
Just consider it. And hatred, no subtlety to the hatred to one another, I would be defaulting to for one another, and if there's a purpose behind that choice, by all means stick with it, but it did stand out to me. And the thing that's a little bit more structural that I would be considering, especially with my pieces, you do with it what you will. The "I wish I'd worn a jacket" isn't getting repeated enough for me. I would at least rule of threes it, and I might do more depending on what I was doing. I might even throw that as the title instead.
I can see what you're saying about the to one another should be for one another. Although I wonder if the to one another is intentional, as if like the hatred is being thrown at like a projectile. I
Oh
don't know if
yeah,
that
yeah.
was
Some
in.
sometimes, these are choices and I just like the
Yeah.
point and I'm missing it.
Oh no, no. I mean, I wasn't trying to, but it's just I'm just acknowledging that some of these choices seem like very careful, but which is going to make my suggestion seem a little reckless. But I almost want the poem to be called like Rubberneck, because in some ways the poem's about rubbernecking and voyeuring. In some ways, the poet's talking about rubbernecking, but in the sense the poet also is kind of being a voyeur, at least in one line. It may be a weak link, but I kind of like the idea of having more like voyeuristic lines. I almost when I was rewriting the third to last line, rubberneckers to the world's car crashes, and maybe somehow tying it to the cold and saying like, the dead homeless, loves lovers, hearts, disasters. Why would there be dead homeless? Because it's snowing out and people don't have shelter. Just try and turn it back to the cold if you don't want to put a jacket reference there.
Okay.
It's just a thought. This is a very rich poem. It's giving a lot of people ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is lovely as is. I did not praise you enough. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree, R. It's a wonderful poem.
Well, thank you. I
Thank
have
you.
lots of notes. Okay.
Very cool. Thank you. My God, who do we have left? I think we're down to oh, Nike, would you like to go first? Next. I thought you twitched. I wasn't sure.
Sure. Give me 1 second. Mhm. Where'd it go? Come on. Here we are. Share. Okay. This poem's working title is The Broken Glass. It just happened to be there, this innocent bottle of apple soda. So I grabbed it, and with all the strength of my little arms, I brought it down, hard, and it kissed those cheap linoleum floors with a muted response that really disappointed me. Then a lame fizzle escaped its pieces as it laid in destruction, and all I could think that was just me on the floor. A lame fizzle. A bunch of scattered pieces that someone would just clean up with a tired huff. So I grabbed the broom and swept it up. But the more I swept, I found pieces of glass everywhere. Under the bed, behind shoes and laundry baskets, near the television stand and the paper shredder, near the dresser. Large pieces in a completely different room around the dog cage and boxes of miscellaneous crap. I was going through my purse looking for gum when I saw pieces of glass I got in there. Shards of it had disguised itself as ice in my drink. I barely even noticed how it sliced down my esophagus. When I turned the shower on yesterday, it rained glass. Ooh, icky sentence. Glass hit my face before steamy comfort, and the fragments gathered like salt at the drain. The other day I opened the closet and glass puddled at my feet. I coughed too hard, and shiny bits always come up.
Gee, I love this, Nike. Some pieces of glass, I'd almost want to replace shards, more pieces more with shards. I know you used it once. Two minor quibbles, responses that really disappointed me. I don't think you need the really responses that disappointed me. And then it sliced down my esophagus. I think you could just say it sliced my esophagus, and that would probably work just as well. But yeah, a really, really cool piece. I enjoyed it quite a lot.
This was beautiful. I love how it you don't talk about the breaking of the soda bottle, but like you don't talk about it like crashing, but there's that sensation of the crashing. You brought it down hard, but you don't talk about, you said it kissed the cheap linoleum floors, but you don't get that, like, you get the sensation of the crashing, but it does, like, you didn't like talk about it directly really, like in the same way, like you didn't say, oh, it crashed, you said it kissed. And it's like it was sounded so gentle, and it was so like easy, and like it just kind of like it kind of just moved quietly through, and it was like, but the after effects were so, the whole poem basically, it was that, and it was a metaphor for you, that it was like, because you were saying that what was it, there was a line, it was like it was a muted response that really disappointed me. That was just me on the floor, a lame fizzle. Um, but it's like it talks about like your endurance, because you thought that you would just be swept up and that you would be like put away, but it was that you continued on, and that you were, it talks about like your endurance, because you would keep going throughout all of it. And I thought that was very interesting, the way that you showed through the whole poem that you weren't easily swept up.
So I'm gonna share some comments on the line breaks and the enjambments. I frequently prefer to end a line on a verb. So the first line, try, I grabbed, and then the next line, the plastic, which would be, or if it was metal, whatever the soda was container, but whatever the bottle was made of, either plastic or metal. And 4 lines down, you're ending with a verb could. 2 more lines down, you have swept it. I would get the it to the next line. The end of the first stanza ends with a period. You have a tell everywhere is telling the reader where the objects are, and then the next stanza you show exactly where they are. And because you have at the end of the last stanza a period, you cannot enjam to the next stanza. So try at the last line of the first stanza, getting rid of the word everywhere, and then you'll go to under the bed and just change the capitalization of under to lower, and then that will create enjambment between the stanzas, and you'll be getting rid of the tell.
I really love all of the descriptions of the places where the glass is turning up. You did notice as you were reading that the "it rained glass hit my face," like I heard you noticing that that was a harder line to read. I don't know if that's something that you want to alter, or if that, you like the hardness of it. The one thing I would suggest as an edit is right at the end. Right now you've got it as "I cough too hard and shiny bits always come up." I would consider trying something like, "Now I cough too hard and shiny bits come up," or "shiny bits keep coming up." It felt a little bit, I don't know. The now feels to me like the thing has changed since you smashed the glass bottle. But I adore the Salt of the Drain. Like there's so many good images in here. It's gorgeous.
After reading your poem, I want to drink a Fresca.
Oh God.
You know, I suppose you could change the last two lines to simply "I cough and shiny bits come up" if that touches on anything Anna was talking about. Anyway, it's a wonderful poem. I love it.
I see this as a companion piece to the last one you sent last month, last year even. But
Do people think it needs a title?
I suggest people leave the titles out so that people don't get people from snooty people from literary magazines don't say, "Oh, this is published online technically." But if Nike wants to tell us the what the title is, I'd love to hear it.
So the title is nothing very fancy. It's just The Broken Glass. And this is just, it's an older piece from a few years ago, inspired around a very dramatic birthday. And it's just,
Hmm.
I'm really listening to what everyone's saying and I appreciate it. It's just a poem that there was so much emotion when I first wrote it, and I feel like it still has a decent amount of bones here. So I just really wanted to get everyone's reaction, and yeah, I don't really have too many things I'm personally looking for. It's still super rough. So thank you for everyone that's like giving me something to work on. Very helpful.
You know what might be a nicer title? I like that line, kiss linoleum floor." How about "Kiss the Linoleum" might be a nice title for it. That would pique my interest and make me want to read more.
Okay, okay.
I had suggested blown, or for if you want to keep it present tense, blow, as in like for glass blower, as in glass blowing the glass like kind of in the wind as it shatters. I had that kind of like weird idea. I was trying to figure out like how to fit glass blowing into the poem, but I couldn't come up with anything that wasn't going to be so ham-fisted.
Well, is "blown glass" a term? I mean, that's
You never heard the phrase glass blower?
yeah, but I'm saying, is "blown glass" a term? Is that something that you could also use as a title, maybe?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't see why not.
My vote is for Sharp Scrape.
Wait, what was the vote?
My vote for title is for Sharp Scrape.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, noted. And thank you for everyone's feedback.
Very cool. I didn't know if either Jan or James were submitting a poem at all. If
And Anna hasn't done
I got
that, has
one.
she?
oh, I know. I was just saying. I just I know Anna has one, but I didn't. I wanted to clear, and I didn't want to make Jan think we were ignoring her or what have you.
Well, I'm not a poet, but somebody mentioned Jeff Taylor,
Oh
and
yeah.
this is one of the 2 1/4 writing groups I'm in. These people are homeless, and the thing was, Jeff Taylor he would join us from work, right? And then when I heard that he passed, but I remember when I showed this, and he knew about this place. So it is a circle of what are those? Merry-go-round things, right? Okay, so I might as well read this. Um, but I'm not a poet. I'm an old English teacher. But anyway, victory. We believe in the victory of good over evil. Bob Marley and the Wailers. A member of this writing group years ago became housed after living in 500-acre Franklin Park, Benjamin Franklin Park, Fields, you know. at the end of the orange line. We, in honor of housing, had given him a Target gift certificate. En route to the writing group, Eric had taken out and opened his wallet to give a bill to a beggar. The person asking for money grabbed his wallet and took off running. So the theft victim came over to tell me this, and so although robbed of his wallet, Eric continued on to writers group. Another really good writer soon after came into Sprode Hall at the bottom of the cathedral at 138 Tremont, opposite Brewer's Fountain. So he was carrying the theft victim's wallet. He had Eric's wallet. So this, also a really good writer who often takes us with him. He's just so mentally ill. He had seen the whole event and retrieved this fellow's writer's wallet from the trash where the robbing beggar had thrown it, and it still had the gift certificate in it. Thank you.
Thank you. And if you're willing to go, and then James can go next.
Okay, so I did send you something, Chad.
Let me see. Yes, I'll get that set up, and but Anna can go first because she can share screen. Was it the Labyrinth poem or was it the other one?
The other one.
Okay, I'll get that ready, and Anna can go while I'm setting that up. Awesome.
All right. How's that looking? Is that okay?
Found it. Here we go.
Can people see that all right?
Yes.
All right, great. For the first time yesterday, I imagined a conversation with him that didn't end in an argument, scorch marks and sackcloth guys, napalm sticking to the wounds in our palms. Inverse of love isn't terror. It felt like progress, a past test, no plus next to my A, but I may be allowed to graduate to the next grade. On a tiny screen, the narcissist whispers, insists this one trick will keep you safe next time, and I'm triple guessing every barefooted step. I'll feel better when the rock wakes and the air smells of mud and my heart breaks with every daffodil bob. The inverse of love isn't woe. It felt like a trial, and I fractured into lawyer, witness, jury, and executioner, waiting for a judge to materialize and authorize the actions already a quarter turn of the wheel past, ripping through flotsam, gripping to the white dwarf of my dying hate. The inverse of love isn't hate. I just need to wait till forgiveness can mean something other than capitulation, letting the rot back in. I just need to work on whatever psychic hurt made toxicity enticing, taxidermy, expired chemistry, troubled history, till forgiveness means something closer to peace. And this is new shit. I wrote it today, so it's probably pretty bad.
Boy, you know the 6 words that make a poet's blood run cold. I just wrote this poem today. So a lot of great description in here, and
Make it bigger.
We don't have control.
but it really starts off scorch marks and sackcloth skies, napalm sticking to wounds in our palms. That's really good.
Yeah.
But then the first 2 lines are kind of blah, right? And so I want to somehow hit the reader with something really strong at the very beginning to keep their interest. So if you can maybe somehow move lines 3 and 4 to the beginning, and then pare down lines 1 and 2 and move them after a little bit, I think that might make it a little bit stronger. But overall, there's a lot of really good imagery in here that I like a lot. This is about that relationship, right?
I'm fine. I'm very normal. I'm handling it just fine.
I'm liking the lines of the lawyer, executioner, the judge, like, I don't know, that imagery feels very like I like that kind of parallel to love and stuff. So it's like, I don't know, maybe if there's a way to like kind of work in more of that type of angle, I think that could be cool.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a lot of great stuff in here. It's almost what John said in terms of the first line. My first thought about it was almost starting out with, he didn't hit me with hate or something. I mean, it's like, that's not really what the line should be, but it's because the other lines after that are really the sense that there's been battles, and that you were trying to imagine, is it possible not to have any battles?
Hmm.
So I noticed you use the word you use the phrase I just need to wait. I just need to do this or I just need to do that. I just need to work. Um that you said you wrote it today, it's kind of rough. Using I just need to do that. It's sort of like that it talks about like that's like the only thing you need to do. That's like, I just need to do this. I only need to do that. But it sounds like you say it more than once, so it kind of defeats the purpose of saying I just need to do that. Because or maybe that's the point, is that you're trying to say I only need to do this, but then you're saying it over and over again, and it's sort of like you're trying to like build a to-do list as you're writing it, and you're trying to justify that you only need to do this one thing, but then the list keeps adding up.
So Ari, are you saying that she should just use the word just once?
I'm not sure if she should use it at all, or if she should use it or if she should add more things to it to make it more of an impact, that it's like that the just need to, because it's like using that phrase is like causing an impact of like it's only one thing, but it really is a lot of things.
I agree that the word just is weak, but for this work, it could be effective to have a repeating um, half a clause, which is called an anaphora. That could be helpful, but I wouldn't use the word just for it. It's too weak. I had two other comments. For a working title, I would go with, for now, Not Love. And a friend of mine told me that the opposite of love is indifference. It's not hate. At the end of the poem, it would be good to have a turn where the voice discovers for themselves what the opposite of love is for them. It still sounds like they're unsure, and they're unsure throughout the whole poem. So it's not a turn.
Yeah, I was making reference to that opposite of hate thing, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be clever. I'm gonna do inverse instead of opposite. But yeah, I can see how I can work that in a little bit better. And thank you, Ari. I'm definitely hearing the like I just isn't quite working as is, and it might be something that needs to be reworked, or it might be something that needs to be repeated more to be more of a
Ooh,
more of a beat and less of a mistake.
I just came up with a cool title.
Ooh.
The denominator of love.
Narcissist whisper.
You know, the other word in a fraction is numerator. So you could do numerator or denominator.
I also thought it was really strong. I don't know how you want to keep promoting it, but a lot of people, I mean, in cases of folks who have been abused, when they've talked about what's happened or they've been earlier on and then they get into relationships that are also abusive, it's because you're confused about what is actually someone treating you right. And so you're bringing that out in many ways that you had an inkling that this isn't it. You know, it's almost the character you were, because in the beginning, that's how you sort of stated it, was you imagined that this wasn't how it actually should be, but this is where you are. And I might miss it. I need to maybe look at it again to really see that. But throughout it, I was like, oh, you know, this is really strong in showing how all those things, people can think that those are emotional things that represent how much we care about each other. But wait a minute, actually, you're ripping each other apart. This isn't caring at all. You know, this is just arguing and fighting. And
Yeah, I got that too, Paul.
All right, everybody good? I'm gonna stop share.
Okay. Well,
Thank you all so much. I really appreciate it.
thank you. And now, oh, it is time for me now to, let me bring it up. I just got into it. And this is that what I wanted? I guess that's what I'll do. All right, I thought I was going to share the actual page, but this seems to work. You can all see it?
Yes.
Okay, great. And then James can be the reciter. Is James there?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So this is a short poem called Physicality of Prayer for Peace. Let us just be cardinal points in deep depth, infinite as these endless knots all around and so round right there at sacred center, surrounded by the rugged cross of the four corners from east to west and north to south that collects us all and brings us along to the solidarity we gain when together, that is just peace.
It has a nice sound to it. I would get rid of the just in the first line. And I think maybe and deep depth, infinite, maybe and deep infinite, get rid of depth there in the third line, and deep infinite on these endless knots. But I keep the just in the last line.
I like how you use cardinal points. Let us be cardinal points. And then you
I do
say
like
the
that.
rugged four corners of the cross, east, west, north, and south, and you list the corners, the points. Like you, because when I think west and north, I think of the Kardashians.
Think about what?
The Kardashians.
Oh, jeez.
hey, John, you would keep
There's
the
no peace
dust
with
in the
those
last
people.
piece?
There's no peace with those people.
But let us be cardinal points, and then you say rugged, like rugged cross of the four corners. So you're saying that even though we are cardinal points, we are not perfect. I like that. I like that line.
It's curious. I would actually take the just out of the last line.
I was kind of thinking that too. We're just a bunch of anti-Justites tonight. Like
Well,
we've been attacking the just in all the poems.
Somebody once told me that you should take just out of everything. I'm not sure I really believe that, but whatever.
It's just a suggestion. All right. Anyway,
So you have four corners: east, west, north, and south. Uh, from the title, I think this is more a spiritual and a Christian poem. So I would consider replacing the directionals with some of the stations of the cross for Jesus.
I was toying with that too, but I was just I didn't want to go through stations. I just wanted to actually enact the list the directions as you would if you're making the sign of the cross, which if I haven't forgotten is, north, south, then west, then east.
See, I did not get that vibe off of it at all, and I was gonna recommend that you bring in more pagan shit because you can absolutely bring in some elements along with the, keeping with those four.
Oh, expand, please. What do you mean? Like, what
Oh,
would you add?
like, my dumb pagan ass here. Like, if you're calling the directions, there's south fire, and like that, then you could bring in, the fire, water, earth, and air as part of it. And I think that could potentially add a little bit to this one, some more ambiguity about to whom the prayer is happening and the notion of it. Or being more specific about it, but also I think the ruggedness, like if you bring in some of that pieces, that might help. I love your ampersands. I think they're adorable, and I did want to pat them all on the head. I love them.
So the term physicality, right? The term physicality is in the head, not in the body. And the whole poem is about being in the body. So maybe a better title would be something like "Prayer in the body of prayer," rather than physicality of prayer, the sinews of prayer, maybe than physicality of prayer, something more Anglo-Saxon than Latinate, something more physical image rather than kind of mental thought.
Well, didn't Jesus say that bread is his body? So maybe including a type of bread in the title.
Interesting.
One thing I notice in this is while you do physicality, it doesn't, there's no movement. And I don't feel like a sense of being in my body with this. It feels very, ungrounded, even though you're trying to like put it to these stakes. The stakes don't feel like the body, and it doesn't feel like you're doing. And I don't know if there's any verbs that go in this, or if it is the like quiet the everything and like be a rock in this place and be like, the deep depth, I think is probably moving in that direction that I want. But
Anna, would you feel more connected to the body if there were some body actions like breathing?
like a breath, like a body part, like a knee or a rib, or like a body. Like there's no hands, there's no feet, there's no knees, there's no body.
And there's no directions either. There's no earth, there's just directions on the earth. So it doesn't put us in a physical plane. It just puts us on the map, but it doesn't put us on the earthly plane.
What do people think about the title being put on two lines, like the title having a line break? Or would you prefer it on one line? Or it's really on three lines?
It doesn't bother me because the lines are so short, it seems to fit with it.
I think so. I agree.
Yeah, aesthetically, everything is very pretty.
And do you like that it starts with a capital and ends with a period? Usually when it ends with a period, it means it's totally closed. It's really, the poem really is ended. It's, the reader doesn't have any more to bring to it themselves.
Yeah, Sam Hammond used to never put a period at the end of his poem. Somehow his thought was that it would just continue resonating on and on and on without the period to kind of close it, put a stop to it.
If ever there was a line to end with a period, just peace or only peace is definitely the one to do it. Like, there's nothing else but peace.
I like how it kind of moves down this column, like we're coming down from I wish it would start with kind of like a sky image or something like that. Kind of like like Robert's poem, we start off in the sky and we come down to like the earthly plane and then it come down to peace. Like we're coming down from like the high points and we're coming down to the earthly plane.
Would you like a bird to come down also?
Maybe that would be interesting.
Hmm. Any thoughts, James? We've been really picking at this very small and condensed poem quite a
I
bit.
think you miss, you're in a very individual frame looking at this. This is not about individual experience. It's about collective experience. And that's why it ends the way it ends. It's about us. It's not
Yeah,
about
you talk about it collecting us. It brings us along. Sure, yeah, it's about us. Sure.
right.
We're with you.
It's about it's about solidarity. It's about the collective solidarity that people have when they have a collective resonant experience that prayer is such a important part of and is it's kind of the ultimate expression of, especially actually Christian prayer.
Well, I kind of like the term
Islam
solidarity.
definitely has it too.
I like the
Islam
term
definitely has
solidarity
it
and
too.
resonance that you just used there.
Yeah,
Do you think you could work those into the poem, maybe? Is there some place for them?
that's an idea. Yeah, there actually, there is a concept called harmonic resonance, which also can be vocal, as well as it is it's kind of like it's like colorage, murmuration, the action of starlings and how they move together. If you've ever seen them at sunset, usually you see them in these flocks that fly in these incredible um, uh, swirls of living bodies.
Yeah, sure. And
Never
just
run into each other, but are able to
yeah,
stay together largely and to create these incredible shifting panoramas physical interaction in the sky.
Well, that's a great image. Is there a place in this poem for that image or not?
No, that's a possibility.
Yeah.
I just noticed you have like a bunch of tabs open.
Are you
James,
talking to me?
James, is there a song you can sing for us with this poem?
Oh. Spin, 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 spin. Spin it out and spin it in. It's a spin world. It's a spin world as we twirl this spinning world.
And with that, we close. Thank you, James. With
Thank
that, we
you.
close out
Thank you,
tonight.
everybody.
Thank you guys
Appreciate
for.
the comment.
So Chad, I mean, I feel kind of bad that we didn't get to tear one of your poems apart.
I haven't. My drafts. It's so crazy. I spent 5 years in a workshop once a week with 3 to 4 other people. And since then, I've just been acting as solo. So I haven't, it's all my poems. I'm kind of like, a poem I'm working on now, it's already been like on the 20th draft, and I'm trying to finish them. But I am going to try and bring something next time purposely for this. And I'm going to try and bring something that's completely awful to take the pressure off of me. It won't even be first draft, it'll be half draft.
Okay, Chad, I'll be sharpening my scalpel.
Oh yeah, you can do that. But but yeah, I will definitely.
Here's my pencil sharpener if you need it, John.
Oh dear.
Oh, I'll just I've got the machete in the garage, so maybe I could just pick that one up.
I'll write something specifically for you guys and figure out a theme I'm not currently writing about now. Something that is like a completely different topic where I don't bore you with the same shit I bring out in my books and everything else. So we'll definitely do that next time. So thanks, and Paul, this is your first time with us, so thanks for coming in. And
Yeah, thanks for keep trying to get me to come and sending the stuff. And
I will do that.
I called my therapist 3 or 4 times while everybody was talking about my poem, and I was off the wagon, but now that's gone. So I appreciate everybody for all that.
No, so definitely stick around with us and
Guess
come
I
back next
picked
week.
the wrong night to quit heroin, as they used to say in airplanes.
Exactly.
Jesus God.
Exactly. I'm gonna go to
Pick the wrong night to pick the wrong day to quit sniffing glue. But anyway,
Take care.
thank you guys, and obligatory wave. Come back next week. Richard Spizak. William Mosier is going to be closing out next week. The final week of January. More features being announced. Meg Smith, Jason Wright. Who else? God damn, everybody. Jules Nyquist. That's in reverse order. She's coming in February. More people to be announced. More people to be added. Thank you guys very much. Could be like this every week. All we need is you. Take care. We'll see you next time. Good night. Thanks for your company. Show's over. See you next time.